Hi, I am Nikhil Fatima, lecturer in English from Kiraj Government College. Today's our topic is dependent and independent clauses. Today I am going to discuss independent and dependent clauses. There are two kinds of clauses: an independent clause and dependent clause. Okay, a clause, what is a clause? A clause is a group of words that has a subject and a verb. Okay, the difference between an independent and a dependent clause is the type of word it starts with. A dependent clause starts with a subordinator word such as when, if, or which. Example: when Ronnie gets here, if Dancy comes to class late, which I bought last weekend. Okay, dependent clause starts with a subordinator, and an independent clause can stand alone as a separate sentence and does not start with a subordinator. A clause that expresses a complete thought and can stand alone. Okay, it can stand alone as a separate sentence and does not start with a subordinator. Example: he memorized a poem last night. Mary will read her poem. Many people enjoy poetry. When an independent clause starts with a capital letter and ends with a period or question mark, it is a sentence. Okay. When an independent clause starts with a capital letter and ends with a period or question mark, it's a sentence. Here, dependent clause, it starts with a subordinator and it does not express a complete thought and it cannot stand by itself as a sentence. Example: because he memorized a poem. When Mary reads her poem at school, since many people enjoy poetry. What makes one clause independent and another dependent? That is subordinator, nothing but subordinator. Because he memorized a poem, he memorized a poem. Here, because he memorized a poem, it's an independent clause because it is starting with a subordinator, and second is he memorized a poem. It is giving a complete thought and it is standing on its own and it is not starting with a subordinator. A clause is dependent or subordinate when it begins with a subordinate word. Here are a few examples: who, when, while, which, that, since, because, unless, etc. Are these are some subordinates. Sometimes the subordinate word is understood to be present. A dependent or subordinate clause needs an independent clause to create a true sentence. Because he memorized a poem, Mike will receive extra credit. Mike will receive extra credit because he memorized a poem. When Mary reads her poem at school, we will applaud. We will applaud when Mary reads her poem at school. Okay. So these are dependent and independent clauses. What is an independent clause? Independent clause can stand alone as a separate sentence and does not start with a subordinator and gives a complete thought and complete meaning and stand on its own. Okay, every sentence must have at least one clause. A dependent clause is combined with an independent clause to make a longer sentence. Okay. Example: when Ronnie gets here, let's start the music. If Sita comes to class late, I will tell her the assignment. The battery which I bought last weekend is defective. These examples sentences with two clauses are called complex sentences. They have both an independent and a dependent clause. Sometimes two independent clauses are put together to make a longer sentence. This is done with a comma and a fanboys conjunctions. Fanboys conjunctions are nothing but for, and, nor, but, or, et, so. All these are coordinating conjunctions. Fanboys conjunctions are coordinating conjunctions. These are used to connect clauses, dependent and independent clauses, or two independent clauses. Okay. Sometimes two independent clauses are put together to make a longer sentence. Okay, so now by this I am going to end my topic. Thank you.